Before I ask too many questions at the start, can you briefly introduce yourself and VZ?
I'm Paul van Eyck. I've been working as a category and business analyst at VZ for about 3 years now. I was working for Albert Heinz in various roles for 20 years before that. At VZ, we exclusively produce fresh chilled products for Albert Heinz, like pre-cut vegetables and fruit, and pizzas, ready-to-eat salads, or daily fresh cooked meals. And as a strategic partner, VZ monitors the market. We also advise the category manager on things we observe, and we develop new products based on the trends we see, and thereby we grow alongside Albert Heinz.
Yeah, of course, good to mention, because you were a strategic partner, we could invite you to the early testing phase. So again, many thanks.
How long have you been working with SIS, Paul?
I've been working with SIS for 3 years now, but I was hired on as a second analyst. So within VZ, we've been working with SIS for more than 5 years now.
Okay, so you have quite
a while.
Yeah, we have some experience.
An actual user.
An actual user, yeah.
Nice. And can you tell us a little bit more about how you're working with Albert Heinz using the SIS data?
Well, we use it in many different ways, because we use it as raw data, but we also use the analytic tools that are in the system. We analyze and advise through your system, not only on our own products, but also looking at the total category level, or even across categories, because we produce in different categories. We also have access to different categories, and we can see, well, if we sell more pizzas, do we sell less stir-fry vegetables?
Yeah.
Stuff like that.
And can you also mention an example of an actual business question that you answered using SIS?
Well, we put products on our products that you need to add on for our variation recommendation.
Yeah.
And we wanted to check, do people actually buy these products, or do we just put them on there for show or something?
Yeah. In other words, does your marketing communication,
does it work?
Does it work?
Yeah. So we could analyze that through the CMS reports, which would be a question we wouldn't be able to answer otherwise.
Yeah.
And furthermore, we also looked at when we introduced fresh pre-packed meals. Verspakketten, called in the Netherlands.
That resonates to a lot of the users.
We saw that our wok and stir-fry vegetables, well, the sales went down.
So actually cannibalizing.
Cannibalizing. So we wanted to check that. So we could also do that within CMS.
I think if I remember correctly, you also do like lekker wit, right? So lekker met, so nice to have wit.
Yeah. That are the add-on things on we put on the product.
Mentioned.
I think it's good to hear that these are all very relevant business questions, and I think a lot of viewers will recognize themselves. Of course, you was invited to test the Insights Builder environment on its own as an experienced SIS user yourself, right? So we are very curious to hear, what was your actual experience with Insights Builder like, and what it maybe surprised you a bit?
Well, what surprised me was the ease of use.
Good. That's a positive surprise.
What Lieke mentioned earlier is, well, usually you need to take some time to get familiar with the SIS environment. But this one, it was really easy. It's you could quickly build a board, adjust it. It's just like using a pivot table in Excel or Power BI. Within the board, you can adjust the scope within widgets. It's a completely new development within SIS.
That's good to
good to hear that you also find it intuitive, because I believe that's also what you're saying.
It's very intuitive.
And can you do you have an example of that it actually saved you time? Because we are saying that this will save your time, this will make your life a lot easier. But do you have an example for us?
Well, there are some facts which you really have to get weekly from either CMS or Cinda. But with Insights Builder, you can just build a data grid within a board, put it on rolling 52 weeks, split it by week, and you can get the facts out every week just by an export. So all these big files you have to maintain.
But you mean that you do not have to download it every week? You can immediately download the data of several weeks, right?
Yeah, for a complete year.
Yeah.
So we need it every period. So now we do it once in a period. But, it's not weekly anymore, and it's far more easier because you click the board to export it. Done.
Yeah. And I think that's a really nice example. I think that also resonates with, again, a lot of users viewing at home.
Yeah.
When we were getting coffee, you were talking about that example with a colleague that you were building on something. Can you elaborate a bit on that for the viewers?
Yeah, well, actually, a while ago, I had a colleague coming up to me. He needs some data and some insights.
Of course.
That's my job.
Okay, can you have some data?
That's my job. So I was working in Insights Builder, and I thought, well, this would be a nice test case. So I asked him to sit down next to me, and in about 15 minutes, we built his board. And I told him it's rolling, so you can look at this every week. And he was like, oh, okay, that's nice. And now he's actually monitoring his own business, and he's asking me to look into things that stand out to him. Instead of me having to monitor his business, telling him what stands out in my perspective, and him telling me, well, I know this, this, and this. Yeah, look into that. And now we go directly into look into that because I can't explain it.
I think it encompasses the feature of saving you time. Something we also discussed during the webinar, right? And I think it's double. So first, it saves you time because you don't have to dig anymore. You can really tailor your research. But also, what you mentioned now is about the efficiency which you can share the data with your colleagues.
Yeah, that's something we didn't have in SIS. So now we can just share boards, and I can just ask people, do you want to be able to adjust it yourself, or do you just want to look at it, just have viewing rights? Are you afraid of breaking it, which they won't? We can just set it back, but that's okay. And also when colleagues come up to me and say, hey, I saw that board with that colleague, can you make me something similar? You can just duplicate it and adjust the board.
So it really spreads.
Yeah, it spreads.
It spreads in a positive way, of course.
And the great thing is that you can actually, if someone says, well, I see something there, can we zoom into that? You can just add a widget, adjust the scope, and zoom into what they want to see.
Yeah.
I think that's really good to hear. So
good to hear from an actual user.
From an actual user, And again, because of the feedback that we received from you, but also from the other strategic partners who were invited to test, we made the decision to launch it already in its current form. It only gets better. So good to note. I'm very curious, Paul. So let's say you have a genie. You found a genie bottle, and you could have any wish or feature you could add to the Insights Builder platform. What would you like to have?
Definitely promo split.
Surprise!
You're not the only one.
Yeah, I think everyone that uses your environment wants promo split added. I think that's the.
Yeah, we hear it a lot. Also in the SIS survey. I just want this promo trend line.
Yeah.
And you heard from your colleagues that it's going to be possible, right?
I think it's a really nice bridge.
Sneak peek.
You have a sneak peek, but maybe let me first thank you for being part of the testing partners. Thank you for your feedback. Thank you also for joining us.